turn that one down. Let's turn the real instrument on. Actually, wait. Before I turn the real instrument on, before I get on bad timing, let me first off adjust my camera because it was a little bit more crooked than I initially thought. And let me second off say, I want to start this video off with this phrase. Perfect. I got a banger. Hey. But first, before we talk about anything, I want to present y'all with this phrase called "You'll own nothing and be happy," or "You'll own nothing and you'll be happy." Same thing, different wording, whatever. The point of this phrase is to say that in the future, people will not have full ownership of the things that they use, and they'll enjoy it. Mostly because they'll be too ignorant to understand that they don't own something, and that your ownership over something, your proof of ownership, your proof of that this thing is in your possession is very vital and very crucial. And if you don't have proof that you own something in a capitalistic society, greedy businesses will always do their best to take advantage of you. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I mentioning this? Why am I turning on the bad timing music? Because today on my timeline, when I was looking for news articles to report to y'all, I saw this bullshit at New report is seriously bad for physical game releases. Now, you may be thinking, this headline's not that bad, but oh, just wait. It gets worse. Owning physical games has many advantages just beyond satisfying nostalgia. For collectors, nothing beats the feeling of owning shelves full of games, which is very true. Look at me in my background. And I rarely pull up my other scene, but look, as y'all can see in my background, I had a shelf full of games right there. Now, that's nowhere near all my games, because I have more stored in like my drawers and stuff like that, and then a chest for my games, and the living room, that's where it's like in my living room fucking dresser thing that you put the TV on, the console. There's a lot more games and stuff in there from like the Wii and stuff like that, but most of my PS4, some of my OG Xbox, because I have very few OG Xbox games, a couple of my physical PC releases, some of that stuff is right there. Just to show y'all like what they're talking about. Like, yes, people who are gamers have some place in their room like that with a bunch of games in it. So yes, this part is very true. It has already been it was already reiterated earlier in 2025 that physical game sales are down in the US, but a new report by the German Games Industry Association has confirmed the existence of a similar trend in that country as well. Now, you may be sitting there thinking, okay, but the title of your video has something to do with physical gaming is dead, physical gaming is no longer existing. What does this have to do with you'll own nothing and be happy? You gotta link the pieces here. Now, a lot of people may mistake. I had some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches earlier. Them shits is not saying right with me. I need my water. God damn. My fault. But you may say that the person in a platform leading this charge with digital games and Steam is Gabe Newell with PC platform releases. And the first thing I would say is I got that feeling like I need to throw up. I'm sorry, this is Anyway, okay, this music is really fucking bothering me. We'll put on the regular shit. But anyway, some of you may be thinking that Gabe Newell and Steam were some of the first ones to enact this policy, enact this future of all digital gaming future. And in that situation, I would say that's not really that much the case, for the simple fact that, wait, why is it so low? Oh, I have it lower than it's supposed to be. That computers, the way that they were naturally going and naturally evolving, since people were moving away from physical media and necessity because of the advent of video streaming stuff, like people who don't even watch movies and TV like that, they just simply watch YouTube, and YouTube is all digital. There's no physical releases of YouTube. Maybe there's some stuff on YouTube that people, physically released on like a DVD cassette or whatever, but the grand majority of stuff that goes up on these online platforms is digital only. Even with me, I've never took any of my videos and put them on a CD or nothing like that. Like, I have some videos that I do put on a what do you call it? That I do have a hard drive over here that looks like a PS4 that I put some of my other older videos and stuff like that on. Like, yes, that's true. But what I mostly want to say is that Nintendo, they're the ones driving this push, because how do I formulate this? Okay, so every other console, right? Even the Wii and the Wii U, for some point in time, uses discs, as well as like your whatever external hard drives you have. You could put the games on those. Nintendo's the only one where they're trying to completely eliminate any off-board storage at all. It's to the point to where they're selling you a physical representation of what the cartridge is. And I say this is more devastating coming from Nintendo than from other places like Sony or Xbox, because Xbox, they're the most open when it comes to allowing companies to put their games on their platform the way that best suits the company. PlayStation, more than Nintendo, but less than Xbox, they pretty much allow you to put your game out the way you want to on their console. Nintendo, on the other hand, is historically very restrictive of how things are done on their platform. Now, they've loosened up and laxened their grips and restraints on how strict they are as time has progressed, and as the necessity for that strictness has came down a little bit. They need to get a little bit more strict when it comes to these AI games, but that's another topic for another day. They're still the most strict out of the big three. And if you don't understand business, industries follow trends. Industries follow leaders. Unless you come up with a way to market a revolutionary feature, it doesn't matter if you came up with it or none of that. People will say it's different from what the big guys in the space are doing, so I'ma just follow what they're doing and ride their coattails, driving their slipstream, so to speak, for those people who play racing games and know what that means. I'ma ride in your slipstream, and this is not an actual race where you only win if you get a certain place. This is a race where if you get to the end, you won. And the end is getting the customer's dollar. So it don't matter if we come in 12th place or 24th place. As long as we cross the finish line, it don't matter. And that's what they trying to do. They just trying to cross the finish line. So it's way more impactful when Nintendo does shit like this than other companies. But the thing that really worries me about this whole physical game releases thing is that the next generation of consoles may very well likely have no consoles with physical editions of the games, because the industry is very adamantly trying to phase out physical games as much as they can, because it does nothing but benefit the people at the top, the evil niggas in the tower. Think about it. Which one is more profitable? Me being able to buy a game for the GameCube and play it 2 consoles later on the Wii U, or making me buy that game on the GameCube? Even if you sell it to me at a discounted price, make it so that you could I buy that game again on the Wii, then make it so I buy that game again on the Wii U. Now, let's move that from Wii U, GameCube, whatever, to PlayStation. How much more profitable would it be to say, nah, you can't play your PS5 game on PS6? You gotta buy the PS6 edition. You gotta upgrade. Shit, Nintendo's already doing this with the $10 upgrade versions. And what's even worse with them is they charge you $10 to play some shit you already own. And I remember The Last of Us did this too specifically, and I was like, hell no, I ain't getting my money. I'll play the PS4 version on PS5. Not paying $10 to get some shitty levels. Like, nigga, no. So it always starts slow, and there's other things we're gonna talk about because that's kind of the theme throughout this video. When it comes to things they want to implement, they being the magical people at the top, ooh, conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat time. Those people at the top, the things that they want to implement, they never just and implement it. They always do little shit that you kind of agree with, and they keep pushing it till you get to that point to where you're like, whoa, this is too far. They can point back to all those other examples and say it wasn't too far then. It's the reason why when 2K has all these microtransactions, a long time ago, niggas said, hey, don't buy these 2K microtransactions. It's gonna get worse. 2K microtransactions used to be $5 to get a digital t-shirt. Now niggas is paying the same amount of money they could go and pay for a real t-shirt. Niggas is buying Gucci shirts in real life going broke, and then going broke buying Gucci shirts on 2K. For what? To look cool to your digital friends? Just so you could put up 0 at the neck? Niggas going 0 for 15 with a fucking Gucci shirt on? Dumbass niggas. Back to this article though. The decline, started a sentence off with a conjunction. The decline in physical sales is expected to continue further. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate it, but I'm not surprised about this. For the simple fact, most people don't understand the idea of what you do affects other people. Let me repeat that. Most people don't understand that your fiscal irresponsibility affects me, somebody who likes to own their games. Because I already know, I've talked to people. Most people, when they see me buying physical games, they say, ew, nigga, you still buy your games physically? Just buy the shit digitally. And then I look at them and say, name the last five games you brought. And the answer be 2K, 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 2K. I'm like, all right, nigga, shut up. But even I see it now going in this next one. PC sales. The German Games Association found that digital accounted for only 93% of PC sales just 4 years ago. 4 years ago was what, 2021? I don't know. Who the fuck is still buying physical games for PC? And if they are, I know it's not no damn modern day releases. Niggas is buying Max Payne from 2001 for PC. The Cyberpunk, I brought Cyberpunk physically for PC. There's no disc in that fucking box behind me that you seen on the shelf earlier. That shit's just a digital code, and I showed it off a long time ago on my first regular main channel, but there's basically nothing in that fucking box pertaining to the game. It's just a bunch of paraphernalia. Germany represents one of Europe's larger video game markets. Similar migration to digital purchases is also happening elsewhere. I can't confirm it's happening in the US. 80%, over 80, damn near 90% of game purchases in the UK were digital in 2022. And also, here's another thing y'all always got to keep in mind with conversations like this. You and me are basically nerds to these outside niggas infiltrating games that aren't really gamers. So to us and people who hang around people who actually enjoy the art of gaming, enjoy the hobby of gaming past, oh, I just got to play VC on 2K. I gotta get my new Prada shoes on 2K. Playing video games because they use it as a third space, not because they actually enjoy the artwork, the art form of video games and the gaming culture in general. Those people, when it comes to this, they're dense. When it comes to this, they're dense. They're very, very dense. They don't care. Oh shit, I might have to. But while I open up this app, they're dense when it comes to this stuff. They don't care. And when you try to tell them and inform them, their brain actively fights against this idea, actively fights against it. Because they don't know no better. They're ignorant. Oh, I completely do have to upload. I would pause. If I do custom artwork. Hold on. Let me. All right, there we go. Fuck off my page. Anyways, I don't restart the stream. Fuck it. Actually, nah, I'm not gonna restart the stream. Fuck that TikTok. That page don't get any views anymore. Anyway, back to what I was saying though. Back to what I was saying, because I kind of got off track a little bit. Partly attributable to this is the fact that some major retailers like Tesco in the UK have stopped selling physical copies of video games entirely. More and more stores are going to start doing that in the future. More and more. And even as recently as the June 2025, fans were quick to point out that very few games announced during the Xbox Games Showcase had physical versions for sale on retail sites. This is very true. Because most game companies, you got to look at it from their viewpoint, because their viewpoint is all about money. Why the fuck? No, stick with me. Why the fuck would I spend money getting my game released physically when most people don't give a fuck about physically owning a game? The average gamer doesn't care about owning. They just want to play the game. To them, they just want to consume. And like that goes down a whole different rabbit hole of down a whole different rabbit hole of most people make their identity being a consumer. Because like I remember there was somebody I knew a while ago where I talked to them and I asked them, like I was just trying to get to know them. I asked them like, hey, what's your hobby? Shorty said shopping. I said, what? I said, how is shopping your hobby? Like what do you enjoy about shopping? Her response was, I enjoy getting new things. She didn't tell me that I'm into fashion or something like that, and I enjoy fashion, so I enjoy going and putting together new pieces, outfits to wear. She didn't say like, I enjoy comic books, so I enjoy buying new comic books to read them. Or even if she read smut books, I enjoy reading smut books because I have fantasy, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's a whole lot of things you could buy that I could be like, you know what, I get it. She just said I like having new things. There's a lot of people where consuming is their identity, so they don't care about owning. They care about playing a game just so they could talk with their friends about the game. That's why most people who are gamers just stay on Warzone. They just play 2K. They just play GTA 5, 5M RP. Because they don't care about the art form of game. As I'm going to keep saying through this video, they don't care. They don't care. They just want to be able to talk to their friends. And with so many physical third spaces being shut down in 2020 and not opening back up, it has really, really hurt the gaming scene. Like the money for the gaming scene went up infinitely because more people who were uninformed got into the space, meaning these companies could get away with more. But on the flip side, people like you and me who were here before all the information still care about the art form, even though there's more good games coming out because the scene is making more money than ever. There's other aspects that's suffering. Like, we all love manuals and new game books. When the last time you seen a game? They don't even put discount codes in that bitch anymore. The boxes be straight empty. However, in 2024, both Nintendo and Capcom have affirmed commitment to physical game. Nintendo. Who? Nintendo. Nah, I gotta be reading that wrong. Let me. It still say Nintendo. And Capcom have affirmed a commitment to physical game releases, and developers like the CEO of... I can't let that Nintendo part go because Nintendo is the main ones pushing this game key card shit. Like, I'm not gonna give them credit on informing the consumer because I was raised with the philosophy you don't congratulate niggas for shit they supposed to do. A better, like, more real world example is you don't congratulate a father for raising their kid. That's what the fuck they're supposed to do. Same thing. I don't congratulate you for informing the consumer on what the product is and what it does so that they may make an informed decision on their purchases. Like, nigga, that's what you're supposed to be doing regardless. Developers like the CEO of Super Rare Games have spoken out about the importance of physical media in the name of game preservation. That's very true. That's another reason that I mentioned a little bit earlier with the GameCube all the way to Wii U thing. Why would they want to preserve gaming? Again, when you talking about businesses and why they make the decisions they make, you gotta look at shit from their view. Why the fuck would they care about game preservation? The less preserved the game is, the more money I can make on it 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years. If it was up to Nintendo, niggas would never be able to play Earthbound in it. But fans took the ROM off the cartridge they purchased and owned, and they took painstaking time out to modify it, to make it so that people who want to play this game but don't understand Japanese or aren't willing to go on a whole fucking journey to learn a whole new language just to understand a random game from 30 years ago that they might think is cool, they're not doing all that. But if it was in English, they would play it. So somebody took time out their life to translate the entire game from Japanese to English. Nintendo would have never hired anyone to do that. That version of the game wouldn't exist if it was up to Nintendo. So we not giving them niggas no credit for nothing. And again, Nintendo's the main culprit of trying to sell you the same fucking game over and over. So for those of you who don't remember or weren't there, when it comes to the Wii Virtual Shop to the Wii U Virtual Shop, and for two reasons, Nintendo didn't let you transfer your games over. One, why would we when we could double charge you? Two, there were a few bit of technical complications early in the life cycle, but later on in the life cycle, nah nigga, y'all just doing it because y'all could double charge us. But why? When they can do stuff like that, double charge them. They could do stuff like the Super Mario 3D collection if they ever need a quick buck. We're gonna fuck up the games, make them unarguably the worst ports of the game, and then put all them bitches on a cartridge so your ass will buy it. Cause we know you gonna buy it. That's another part of this. Consumers are part of the problem. They know we gonna buy it cause we love these properties, we love these IPs regardless. Moving on to the next thing. EA still resisting $80 PS5 games not raising the prices at this stage. Now, I'm assuming this article has a quote, but I wanted to pull it up because this headline to me, is funny as fuck. For the simple fact, those of y'all who know, EA was once rated 2 years back to back the worst company in America. That's not a joke. That's a real award they won 2 years back to back. So why the fuck were they rated the worst company? Well, because they have shitty business practices. A company with a long-standing, still practicing history of bad business practices is supposed to position himself as being the final bastion, the greatest light, and the goddamn and the gaming and the gaming scene. Yeah, we're not those bad guys raising our prices to $80. We're keeping our shit at $70. This headline to me just says they need good PR more than they need money right now. Because EA is not one of the companies that's gonna keep this shit forever. They're just gonna wait until everybody else does it and be the last to do it so they don't look bad. And they're gonna go, oh guys, the prices in the industry were rising so much we couldn't maintain, blah blah blah. Shut up, nigga. We don't believe you. We need more people. Is there a quote in this bitch? EA has reiterated that it does not plan on raising the price of its upcoming dollars to $80 despite some other publishers in the industry doing so. Nintendo for now, for now, EA blah. They just broke up the fucking quote. However, the latter has now reverted back to $70 ahead of one. Oh yeah, the Outer Wilds, they dropped the price down to $70 after they seen a backlash. For now, at least, Evil Ass Niggas Incorporated isn't planning for any video game price increases. CEO Andrew Wilson said EA isn't looking to make any changes on pricing at this stage. And to be fair, they kind of don't need the money because they make Madden. They make NCAA, AARP, whatever the fuck it is, college football. Niggas gonna buy that game anyway regardless. Then they gonna spend $100 million on microtransactions. So financial wise, they don't have to up the price. Niggas gonna buy it anyway. Which ties back into the last thing I was talking about. Some people make their identity consuming and they just buy and buy and buy. You know who was angry at EA for trying to price the Outer Worlds at $80? Hardcore gamers. The average nigga that plays Madden is not touching the fucking Outer World. I realized I've just been calling it the Outer Wilds for like the past 15-20 minutes. Outer Worlds too, whatever. Y'all know exactly what game I'm talking about though. Am I at the right angle here? No, I need to be more like right here. Wait. So what the fuck was that? Oh, okay. Something in OBS looked messed up. A fairly broad pricing scheme across our various products. When you think about everything, when it's spelled wrong, from free to play through our premium products and deluxe editions, our orientation is always to capture the full spectrum of pricing so that we can serve players in the best way possible and offer them great value. There's a whole crock of bullshit. There's a whole load of bullshit. Whole crock of bullshit. Because EA, they have a long-standing history of doing fuck shit. And one thing I need y'all to recognize is companies will time and time again apologize, say, oops, we're sorry, my bad, but we gotta do this, when they don't gotta do none of that shit. Going on further though, should I split the VODs? Yeah, I should split the VODs. Nah, I don't think I need to split the VODs. Yeah, I'll just keep it like this. Keeping it going in gaming censorship news. Apparently, and this is happening to a lot of platforms in the UK, but if you want to use your Xbox, you got to put in your damn ID. You want to use your Xbox, you got to put your school ID in. Now them niggas got your age, name, and address, pussy. Xbox users in the UK will soon need to verify their age to continue using key social features like messaging and voice chat with people outside their friends list. This change is part of Xbox compliance with the UK Online Safety Act, which requires platforms to implement stricter age assurance measures to protect younger users, which in theory is what this will do. But in all reality, I've already seen a video where somebody was getting a prompt to pop up for age verification, and they used a picture of The Rock on 2K WWE to pass the age verification, like the facial estimation. So it's like, that's the one thing I always say about these platforms. Like, you can't just implement one kind of age verification. You got to implement 2, 3, because people will figure out how to trick your age verification if you only got one and you just rocking with that. Like, nah, you need to implement multiple if you truly want this. But we all know they don't truly want age verification or none of this other shit. They just want niggas to be able to buy. In an official Xbox blog post, Microsoft has announced that players will need to complete an age verification process by early 2026 or face limited social features. This requirement will also be implemented in other regions soon. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not finna put my fucking ID on my PlayStation. Discord, y'all better not ask me for my ID either, because we're transferring to Zoom or some shit. Nope. Players who don't verify their age by early 2026 will have their shit cut off. You'll still be able to be message and chat with friends, but communication with non-friends will be blocked until your age is confirmed. Okay, that's reasonable. This requirement currently only applies to the UK. Xbox said. But they also said they expect the age verification to roll out in more regions in the future, meaning everybody on Xbox got to do this shit eventually. Xbox is urging players to complete age verification now to avoid uninterrupted. So blah 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 blah. Basically, do the shit now or do the shit later. My thoughts on this is y'all can do what y'all want. Y'all can say what y'all want. My nigga, I am not putting in my credit card information so you can send me a 10-cent charge to make sure I'm an adult just so I can use my fucking Xbox. That's never gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. Also, like I said, the thing about this is they're only gonna implement one form of age verification necessary, which is gonna be easily exploited, and even the one they have now with the facial age estimation, like I said, I've seen people use a picture of The Rock off of WWE 2K to trick it. Another thing that we're going to talk about quickly. So for those of y'all who weren't keeping up, the other day I got an article that I went over about itch.io, where I said usually when censorship campaigns, when censorship plans happen, when they go out, they never start by censoring what they truly want to censor. They always start by censoring something that we kind of somewhat agree on, then they move over, so on and so forth. I said this example already. Seen this tweet on my timeline. I don't follow these niggas. I've never liked any of their tweets. None of that. I just seen this post on my timeline and I said, yup, this is exactly what the fuck I was talking about. And absolutely nobody's surprised they came for us next and started banning horror games from Steam and itch. Cause the thing about a lot of horror games is they go over very risque, so to speak, for lack of better words, topics. They go over topics and talk about and do things that some more conservatively valued people or some more bitch-made niggas would find unsavory to talk about. Like, for example, there are horror games that talk about offing yourself. And a horror game that could make sense and be done in a way where it's artistic and they're not just like trying to encourage anybody to do something, but censor people and the powers that may be. If your game's not a super safe ABC Elmo Fortnite ass game, they don't give a fuck. They want your shit stricken down. You know what game they'll leave up? The fucking Trump is God MAGA simulator. But let's read on in these tweets, because I've read most of these tweets already. No, I read all of them already. I just want to go over them with you and break down how they relate into the itch.io thing. To see, like I said, the way they got you is they started with Gooner games. Most people would agree we shouldn't have games where there's bag of grapes going on, or where people is essaying characters in a game or anything like that. We agree those should be taken down. What we don't agree on is who should say that stuff got to be taken down. It should be up to the platform to say that shit shouldn't be taken down. Because any platform that prioritizes that, guess what's gonna happen? All the weird niggas is gonna flock over there. You shut that site down. You don't shut down, block, and restrict the people that are just trying to make different artistic expressions. Sounds like I had a hard time pronouncing that, but I really didn't. For those of you who are asking, as you may know, itch and Steam were forced to remove or shadow ban a bunch of fucking gooner ass, futanari, hentai, yaoi, oppai ass games recently. Mainly, I just listed. That was clearly only the beginning, and I was expecting it to hit horror next, and it did, as they predicted when itch.io first said it. This sucks. Not only it's literally censorship, but it also opens the door for these platforms to label anything as unsafe or NSFW. And the same thing as what I said with the whole Nintendo Power World case. Once you bend the knee once, they gonna come back, they gonna smack that meat on the table, and they gonna expect you to bend the knee twice, 3 times, 6 times, 12 times, 24 times, 48 times. Next thing you know, you walking around talking like that dude from Ironheart. I get blackmailed like 3 times a day. That's gonna be you. And itch.io bent the knee. Guess what happened? The car companies, they said, oh, they ain't gonna fight back. You know what we gonna do? They punched them in the stomach again. Because when they bumped you in the shoulder and you say, yo, you just hit me in the shoulder, and they say, fuck you. You didn't take offense to it. You just said, I'm sorry. So they came back, punched you in your stomach, and they said, nah, give me your lunch money, fuck nigga. And guess what your ass gonna do? And I understand there's a lot of moving parts. Like I said, for example, it's hard for them to afford to be able to like fight these cases, but it's sad because when they don't, shit like this happens. It's not a big wave or anything. It's going to start off slowly and then get bigger. They didn't go and remove the entire horror library. And also, just to start a sentence off with a conjunction, just to also ad-lib more on the freak nigga games, like, as long as it isn't going into, oh hell no, that's not cool, that's not okay, that's some weirdo shit, like any lolicon games or nothing like that, I'm never gonna play no freak nigga games unless it's like for the pure comedy, like Honey Pop or something like that. But freaked out games should have room to exist. Now, I'm not gonna play them shits besides Honey Pop because I grew up watching Dashie and Markiplier and all these other niggas play it because it was funny. But freaked out games deserve a place to exist just as much as everything else. So far, and also, like I said, this what's going on now is the main reason why. You let them tell the freaked out niggas get to the back, guess who else is getting told to get to the back next? So far, there are 2 examples that we know of. There could be more. If you are a developer who got affected by this, please reach out and I'll add your game under this thread. At least it will be out there for people to see. For everyone asking for proof, here you go. Mouthwashing, which last year was a pretty big game. I didn't particularly care for it, but every 5 fucking scrolls, I saw another nigga saying, oh, mouthwashing is great. YouTube, every 5 scrolls, mouthwashing gameplay, part 879. So a lot of people were really fucking with the game mouthwashing. So that's not no little game to push to the side. That's not no little game that nobody ever heard of. That game was pretty big last year. I saw that shit going up for awards outside of indie award gaming ceremonies. So that's pretty big. And the Fear and Hunger game shadow ban on itch and bio blah 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 removed from Steam completely. All of these are horror games. If you supported a group doing this and are somehow surprised by this, you shouldn't be. Yeah, you niggas was cheering, get those freaky ass games out of here. And you thought bothering the freak niggas was a good thing. Yeah, gooning shouldn't be allowed. Porn addiction. Just saying a bunch of buzzwords you heard another nigga say. But yeah, this is what happens when you listen to buzzwords somebody else say and you start cheering. You just get hyped. You say, yeah, ban it all. And then when they get to ban it all and you realize what you like is a part of it all, you go, whoa. Don't ban that though. Like, no. We said we was gonna ban everything. Like the Latinos for Trump. Oh, he's not gonna deport us. Why am I getting deported? He said he was gonna deport everybody. Oh, you thought because you wore a red hat and said Donald Trump, I love you, Donald Trump, that he was gonna deport you when he said he was gonna deport you? He said his goal was to get everybody that's a foreigner the fuck up out of here. Oh, you thought it's because you was born here he wouldn't consider you a foreigner? Nah. Keep that same energy. Yeah, get them all out of here, right? You a part of them all. Them all affects you now. Now you gotta put that in your pipe and smoke it, pussy. Horror, like many other media, deals with uncomfortable topics, which should be allowed to be addressed. That's why we have had content warnings pretty much since the conception, and they've been getting more detailed. That's a fact. If you are a parent, because that's the excuse they try and make. Oh, what about parents and kids and blah, 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 blah. If you are a parent and you're not monitoring what types of games and stuff like that, yo niglet, yo child, yo jittery is playing, then I don't know what to tell you. They have detailed systems in place for you to be able to see and tell everything that's going on and what types of games they playing. So if you don't know, that's just pure ignorance. But that's not enough. They don't like them, so they don't want you to access them either. And there's an example. Every game with crazy stuff in it has this. Like, especially games that touch on the subject and or topic of booming yourself or off yourself in any kind of way, shape, or form. They always have this type of warning. So to just outright say none of you niggas get to survive, none of you niggas get to live, everybody rah rah rah, everything shot. Not cool, bro. Not cool. Moving on though. If you're here in this stream, just reload your tab. We're gonna go over the Marvel Rival shit now.